When you're young, you're bold and you're fearless. So you don't care about danger. You know, you take chances. And the way to pull something off that turned out to be as defining is to be bold and to be fearless. And even if you felt fear, you didn't show it. You acted as if it wasn't there. But, you know, like I said in the documentary, you know, we were fearless, we were warriors. So if death was the consequences, so be it. When I'm fighting, that's when I feel free as a black person. So at other times, I feel restricted. But when I've chosen to fight, that's when I feel free in my mind and in my body. So I really love to struggle for what I believe was due us as members of the human race on this earth. And we have not assumed our rightful place. And until that happens, maybe even afterwards, we need to continue to fight, to continue the struggle. And then the struggle, we said back in the day, is protracted, is extended. You're not gonna get it all done this time, but you're gonna continue to move it forward. And I'm with extension of history, not trying to modify history, not change it. In that sense, I'm a traditionalist. I believe in tradition. You know, you just extend. You extend from one generation to another, but you have that core always.
How far can we go to push for what we're fighting for? And a lot of the times, it would always be like, well, they were climbing buildings. So anything we do here on this internet, anything we say about this here president, if we can call for her to be fired, we can do whatever we want because they were climbing buildings. In 1968, they could have shot that man off that building. You know? The stakes were completely higher. I think a misconception is that the work started like the day George Floyd died. We had already been doing the work for what would become the demands for months. You know what I mean? We were talking about tearing down the George Washington statue as early as winter. And so we started with the accommodation fight. And then from there around May, early June, we decided to like write up a whole list of demands. Came up with, I can't even remember. We had like a list of 5 or 6 at first, and like started with those, got, people to sign on to them. And that was, like I said, early June, we started meeting with the president. We were just fed up, we were tired and overworked and, just underseen in every single way. Like we had created this whole, at the time, this Black student apparatus of resources, and we were paying for it out of our pocket. You know what I mean? We were doing all this out of our own time. We did not come into the work with the intention of like burning everything down. I know that's usually people's like thing, like, oh man, activism has to be there. We genuinely just went, and there's 7 demands. We went to originally, we just went to the 7 places where there was the most need for transformation. And with that, some success, some failures, but it was never this idea. I think a lot of times people think that like, we kind of just woke up one day with this fiery anger to just like destroy everything and like make the university look bad, to, be a part of something destructive, but it's the opposite. You know what I mean? We all genuinely believed that by destroying the certain things that we saw on campus that we knew were not for the best, a massive statue of a slave owner, a police department that's bloated and overpaid for, and anti-Black, and increasing, Black student representation and Black, teacher and professor and Black intellect on campus. Those are not like destructive things, you know what I mean? Those were meant inherently to make all of this function properly. And so that no one had to feel how we felt.
So from then on, he began to work with the faculty to convince them that there was a need to change that. There was a need to recruit more black students. There was a need to recruit more black faculty and staff to serve. So he was working on it. We didn't know these things, but we thought that by May 6th, we decided to submit a letter. And that letter was written by E.J. Brisker and other members of the leadership, and it also included demands that were inclusive of American Indians and Chicanos. So that's how it came about. And if you see the letter, it begins with the University of Washington is and always has been a racist institution, and this needs to change. And we should always be mindful that they can always turn on you. So you have to keep building fortitude so that, no matter what, that you continue to move forward, and you will be ever vigilant when it comes to that, because otherwise, the way the system works is, bait and switch. It'll make you think you've been successful, so you back off, and the next thing you know, you get hit from the blind side. They'll take it all away. You need to have a group of people to help you pull this off, and not you doing everything, because it will take a toll on your academics, and then that defeats the purpose. Because we want you to be successful academically, and to be supportive of what needs to happen as the institution to make it better for all present and future underserved people. That, as long as you're making that happen, then you should be okay. I had a purpose to be here and to do what I'm doing. So I have to continue to do this for the rest of my life. And hopefully someone will take up the mantle of someone's and continue.
This institution is very cold and unloving to people, and the connections that we make are really all we have. And it's gotten harder, actually, I think, in the last couple of years. And the goal of the demands ultimately is not really about policy. It was about creating a school that people felt safe at, felt that, they could just, be their full black selves. And so I only really hang around certain black circles. So I feel okay most times, but I think I hear from a lot of my friends, when they go to classes, the teachers they interact with, the world that they live in for the most part is just the same as before. And that sucks, man. It's heartbreaking, in a sense, because it's you put in all that work, you put on that effort because you really believe in what you're saying. We had gotten to the point where the president was repeating our talking points back to us. That's how consistent in our message we were. This was not just a bunch of kids. We had a full, apparatus dedicated to making what we were trying to happen. But ultimately, no, I guess not really. There's still a lot of work to be done. And I don't know who's going to take that on. I think we're all kind of tired. And so it's sad because I know I'm leaving this work. This is my last. After BSc, I'm pretty much going to focus on other things. And, I don't really know who in the community is willing to or if I even really want someone in the community to wear themselves down the way we wore ourselves down, because ultimately institutions move extremely slowly. And it's the closest thing to acceleration we got was that summer. That was the only time I felt like we could really push. Nowadays, they don't even, I could email the president. Will she respond? Probably, but are we gonna move anything? No. It's a sad reality.